What's up, Mowgli? What do you need? What do you need? Welcome back to...
Welcome back to the Picture Story Studio podcast. This is another episode. This is episode what, 9?
9?
Yeah, we're rocking it.
Yeah.
We are rocking
Should we get
it.
to 100?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A quick little legal disclaimer. Mm-hmm. We are not career whisperers. We are not lawyers.
No.
We are not film critics.
No advice. No legal advice.
We just really love movies. We work in movies.
And we respect anybody that's taken the time to make it.
Oh, yeah.
And to
not
pull
trying to
something
shit on
off
your work. Yeah.
is just such a huge accomplishment and such a huge feat. So, yeah, kudos to anybody that's actually done
Kudos to filmmakers. Let's keep film alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Natasha. I'm your co-host.
And I'm Seamus.
This is Picture Story Studios podcast.
Yep.
A little update. Our website is live. It's beautiful. It's got a new color palette.
A whole new color palette, new logo.
She's rebranded.
Yes.
PictureStoryStudios.com.
Check us out, please.
We have some services. And then what I'm most excited about is that we're launching our collective this summer.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
gonna
really
be huge.
cool. And carved out of frustration with labs and fellowships that ghost you and
we're elitist.
that, and just needing more of a space for indie filmmakers to thrive and connect and network and level up.
Exactly.
So check out our website, look out for that. But let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like this new mic, by the way. It's like
the Rodecaster Pro, or the stand, the new stand.
The new stand. I love.
we're figuring all this stuff out.
Because the other one was really cool for like swinging.
Yep.
But who's swinging?
And it was also way too much in the frame.
Yeah.
So that was a thing.
I agree. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The art of the oner. Not many can pull it off.
No.
But when you can.
Yes.
Chef's kiss.
Absolutely.
Give me your favorite movie, TV show with a oner. What you got?
Goodfellas. The walk-in scene to the Copacabana. I just remember watching that as a kid, and it changed everything.
How so?
Not only did I want to be Henry Hill, walking into the Copa with his girl and just giving people like 20s for no reason, but the way they just tracked.
Give me a 20 for no reason.
Legit. The way they just tracked through the street, through the kitchen, and you had all this live action going on behind them, and it doesn't obviously stop for them, but you just feel the world and the whole vibe of it. It's incredible.
I am going to go with a show that I worked on. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yep.
They constantly were incorporating oners, so it's hard to pick which one is my favorite one. I personally worked on an episode in Miami when we were down there.
Miami?
I'm going to Miami. Where the camera started outside and we had a cab and actors pulling up in the cab and BG and life and then the camera transitions onto a jib inside the hotel and follows Midge as she walks inside to the hotel. And
it must have been incredible.
It was so cool to watch. Jim McConkey is like a master camera operator, and David Mullen, who is just like a genius DP.
And you were working that episode?
I was like it wasn't my episode as a second AD, but I was there in Miami with them and I was on set. Yeah.
What's like the most difficult part of like pulling that off? Obviously, other than like everything has to go right, but I don't know.
I feel like that is, you got to nail it in rehearsal and you got to rehearse the shit out of it.
How many rehearsals do they have for something like that?
I don't remember specifically. Quite a bit. Several hours.
Several hours.
Yeah, because you want to get it right. And then
that's
you
everybody.
Want
BG,
everybody,
the main
the
actors,
ADs,
camera movement,
the camera operators,
light.
the first ACs, everybody.
Yeah.
It's got to be on point, which they are on that show. Which that crew was on that show.
Yeah.
And then you shoot it a few times and hopefully the rehearsals knocked everything out of the way. But that was a really great one. And I'm going to also go with Bardo. By Alejandro Iñárritu.
Yeah.
That
such an incredible
if you
movie.
haven't seen
we
it,
talked about
I don't
that before,
care
but yeah,
because
definitely
you should have
watch
seen
it.
it by now, and this shouldn't be a spoiler to you.
Yeah, no.
But the soldier sequence.
Oh my
in
God.
the plaza
Yeah.
of
Time bendy, time warpy.
Man, and we've been there. We've been to that plaza.
I know.
So
It was
cool
so
in
cool
Mexico
to see
City.
it. And he captured it in such a beautiful,
And it was
holistic.
it was choreographed. It was
art.
Stunts,
It was art, man. It was art.
Daylight, hundreds of extras.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting in Mexico City, I could only imagine what it took to pull that off.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, sir.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And then you have a favorite one from Netflix.
Another one that I loved was Athena. The incredible oner is the entire movie is a oner.
I don't think it's
it almost
entirely
is.
a oner. It definitely feels that way.
But they had this incredible oner action shot, and then watching the behind the scenes documentary movie
cooler than watching. I mean, the movie was really
the movie's
special.
incredible.
But the behind the scenes documentary, I
to
geeked out
pull
so
that
hard
off,
over that.
like mid chase scene with motorcycles in the street into vans, like the camera
onto a hood mount, onto a handheld, onto
with
a
extreme stunts with an insane amount of people
explosions
happening.
and cars moving and hundreds of extras and like 15 pages of dialogue and like just so much.
And also the safety crew.
Oh my
God. Being there and making sure that the main, actors aren't flying out of the vans and shit as they're making these crazy turns. And all that shit's happening.
So impressive.
While they're handing off the camera, getting what they need. It was incredible. Incredible movie.
Athena on Netflix.
Athena, see that.
But this episode, we're talking about Adolescence.
Adolescence, yeah.
I mean,
such a and.
What a flex. The whole show.
The whole show.
Not the hero shot. Not a singular episode.
No.
Not the pivotal scene. The entire show.
And there's no splice cuts. There's no splice cuts.
There's none. The DP attested to that.
Where you have to
and
shoot.
I believe.
You had to shoot the whole episode through, whereas in 1916, 1917, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like, the whole movie is a oner, yes, but they use splice cuts, obviously, because it took months to do that.
I'm sure, yeah.
It takes months to pull that off. So you have to cut in between things, whether it's going behind a wall or some shit like that. But these episodes were filmed completely in a oner. And just the pressure of that for every department,
especially the first AC, who was probably like,
holy shit. And then being one of the actors being like at the very end, I can't imagine being like, line.
No, but shout out to the kid that played Jamie Miller. I hear that it's his first role that he's ever been
incredible
in.
talent,
smashed it, knocked it out of the park.
And also the
whole entire cast, but that kid was something special.
And the statement that show made,
which is so poignant and so necessary
needed
right now.
It's going against all these Andrew Tate fucking
Incel
Jake Paul motherfuckers on Instagram, and it's just this crazy
machismo, this like toxic.
It's beyond
toxic masculinity.
It's just this like idolizing being a fucking scumbag,
and
that's what makes
like
you
shit.
a man. And also it bleeds into parents really not knowing what their kids are into,
it's really sad
and real. Like, there's no way a parent knows everything that they're doing. I don't give a fuck about child protection, like, settings or not. Kids know how to get around that.
I'm actually really glad that I was raised in the 90s because...
We're the last gen, man.
I had a childhood. I wasn't strapped to a phone at all
these kids are having a childhood. I ain't coming after the youngins. I ain't coming after them like that.
Gen Z for life.
Yeah, yo. But like they were just, that's what it was. They were born and raised with it.
Yeah.
But really interesting look at that dynamic of parents and kids and the toxic shit that's online and not knowing what your kids are looking at. But incredible.
Focusing on the wonder of it all.
Yeah.
Just how they were able to capture entire episodes in single takes. Yeah. I heard somewhere that one of the episodes was like day 3 or something, take 19, which if you have not worked on set before with children, depending on how old they are, you only get them for a certain amount of hours.
Maybe it's different in London.
Maybe.
Or whatever they shoot with.
It's different.
They're like, get back in the coal mine, boy. You've got 20
Get
more
your
hours.
ass to work, you little canary.
All right.
No, but yeah, working with minors is incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that some of the ADs had to dress up as background to be in the shot to direct
rad.
people.
So rad.
And you gotta imagine being handheld to hood mount to handheld to drone to going up towards the end of the episode in the sky with a drone coming back down to get back handheld, and I'm
someone's
just
got to
like,
catch the fucking camera.
my God.
And also too,
incredible.
I forget
truly
what
incredible
article I read it, or maybe it was somewhere online, but it was talking about the difficulty of the lighting in not the outside scenes, right? Which, the sun is the sun.
What are you going to do with the sun?
And great.
Yeah.
Nothing beats the sun for light. But doing these interviews and like inside shots in a room where the camera's rotating completely around.
Oh, that episode.
And how do you keep the lighting consistent without having the shadows of the people behind the camera in the scene is
the
fucking
sound
incredible.
Operator right behind the
God.
camera operator.
Incredible.
And like minimizing footprints and like, we're such nerds.
And the main guy,
I live
I'm
for
going to
it.
pop up his face and name, but
and
incredible.
he's one of the co-creators of the show.
Yeah.
Giving him mad props.
Yeah, and he's been in the game for a really long time.
Yeah.
And it was really cool that he came with such a powerful statement. It was awesome.
And it's only 4 episodes. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a limited series, but oh my God, was it one of the most powerful miniseries that I've seen in a very, very long time.
And it's not about the explosions. It's not the... It's really about the family
there are tricks with
drama.
the camera, sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about.
Right. And it's exciting.
But
man,
story,
the characters.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Adolescence.
We
Netflix.
can geek out
See it.
forever. But let's transition into a different segment. Indie Diaries.
Indie Diaries.
Let's get behind the scenes. Let's talk about what's going on, what have we experienced, what we've come across.
Right.
Learn from our mistakes. I think we should talk about a festival that should not be named.
Oh yeah, we're not going to name them.
But
yes.
yeah,
this
it's important. It's an important story.
This entry went into my Indie Diaries and the things we learn when people are trying to be bullshit. So we there's a lot of things to submit to online in terms of screenwriting competitions, or not only just your short films, but you can submit your screenplays and your writing to these different competitions everywhere. And we won one. Whoa. And right? And it's like, hey, we're trying to make some moves, trying to, get some bigger crumbs from the table. And wow, it was exciting, right? Like really cool, uplifting.
Yeah,
we won.
After getting
something.
2 or 3 rejection letters a day for the better part of a year. Yes, it is very nice to win something.
Right?
But then
you start digging in and you start asking questions, which is what we did and what we do advise.
I'm going to beat the crap out of you.
Because I was asking questions?
I'm going to embarrass you.
Anybody to do is ask questions. Just because you won something doesn't mean shit. What did I win? And what does it mean if you go into a relationship with someone that's like, hey, we really like your work. We'd like to, quote unquote, option it, right? What does that mean? And basically at the end of this meeting, it was really just, we keep everything, you get nothing. You have to pay $10,000 to be titled as a producer on the shit that project. I wrote.
And you're not getting compensated for transferring over your rights.
Nothing.
And if you wanted to develop it into something else, you'd have to pay them to get your material back that you never signed off to them in the first place.
This is that thing where it's like, yo, read the fine print.
But it wasn't in the fine print.
Yeah.
I read the fine print. I'm a nerd.
Yes.
It wasn't in the fine print.
And if it is, and if there is no fine print, you make your own fine print and be like, this is what it can be.
This is what it can be. Just advocate for
yourself. Don't give away your work
Mm-hmm.
and your art. There are too many things on, and platforms like Film Freeway. There needs to be more oversight on those things.
That's kind of a hot take.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
And I'm all right with it.
And I also think I'm gonna piggyback on that, I think there needs to be an analytics section within Film Freeway, like there is in Vimeo, because I need to know A, that you watched it at all.
Yes.
And B, where you dropped off. That helps me as a filmmaker to know that, oh, around Act 2, I'm starting to lose my audience, right? But it also helps, hey, I paid thousands of dollars to a bunch of film festivals.
Yeah.
And you didn't even fucking watch it.
And especially for the ones where it's like, yo, $50 to submit to this festival.
Or 75.
75. You can give me a paragraph. You can give me a paragraph.
Or just watch it.
You can just watch. Well, yeah. Number one, you can just, which apparently now with the Oscars, you have to watch all the movies if you vote for them.
I can't believe that that's now.
I was like, wait, what?
That honestly, I was just like,
you have to watch.
This is kind of dumb.
They just made that
always?
a rule.
Yeah.
Where if you were one of the voters in the Academy and you're voting on the films that are up for nominations, you actually have to watch all of them.
Now, if you don't get your asses out front and start doing some work, I'm going to fire you faster than you can say, yo, MTV rap.
So many hot takes coming at you.
That incredible. But yeah.
Let's move on to movies that made us. Don't think I forgot. Last episode,
damn it,
you were like,
yes,
So now,
right. Here comes the cheesy cornball.
It's okay.
But
Live, laugh, love.
I don't care. Live, laugh, love. Live, laugh, love. We love a good Yankee Candle in this house. You know what I mean?
No, we do not.
Yes, we do.
Don't you dare.
Oh, what's Bubba eating?
Muggy.
You eating a bone, bruh? You ain't gonna choke. All right. My movies that made me.
Let's hear it.
Rocky.
Okay.
I'm doing Rocky.
Okay. It's basic, but it's real and it's good and it's a classic American film. Okay.
It's also, sorry, spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen Rocky yet, that's totally on you. It's the main character. Obviously, he doesn't win. He doesn't win.
It's refreshing.
He does the heavyweight title fight. He doesn't win, but yet he still
he can't
wins.
win because then there would be no Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5, Creed 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5.
yeah. No, trust me. Stallone wins. But he went the distance. I remember that really impacting me as a kid.
I could see that.
It wasn't about him getting the trophy. It was really about, yo, I went the distance and I went for it.
Yeah.
And Stallone embodied that because he too,
crazy backstory.
Crazy backstory, but speaking of what we were speaking about of advocating for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to buy Rocky from him and they were like.
When you say they, like the studios?
Yeah, the studios.
Okay,
I believe it was MGM. I don't know which one, but
which
the big power
Amazon
players.
now owns, but whatever.
Yeah. They were going to buy Rocky from him and basically, Stallone, you're out. You can't be Rocky. And he was like, well,
Fuck
no.
outta
And the guy was
here.
broke. He had nothing. But he advocated for himself and he was like, I'm the guy.
Good.
And yes, exactly.
Good. You cannot take what I worked my life on.
No. And especially if you're like, I know I'm the right guy for this role.
Yeah, and he was.
Yeah.
He was brilliant as Rocky.
Yeah.
What's shaking in the industry right now? I'm going to read it straight from here because
let's
it's
do
kind
it.
of amazing what I subscribe to the Dailies newsletter, which I'm a huge fan of. Comes 3 times a week. Dailies, if you're watching, hit up your girl.
We can take a sponsorship.
But so I'm all about disrupting, doing away with gatekeeping, breaking through old models. And I really like that it seems to be the consensus among a lot of indie filmmakers like us, looking for those outlets that let you do things a little more independently, a little more free, a little more untethered to the old guard's ways.
Yeah.
All that to say, I saw this in the dailies recently and I was like, yes, please. So Vimeo wants every creator to have their own Netflix. They're launching Vimeo streaming, letting anyone create their own subscription streaming service, say that 25 times fast, without technical skills. So they want you to think of it as if you're building your own Netflix and your own Netflix kit, and creators can design a branded platform, launch apps, and choose how they want to make money via subscriptions, rentals, or ads.
Hello.
And I think it's so cool because what it's doing is
Breaking up the monopoly of like three people owning everything.
It's cutting out the middleman that keeps the little man out.
Yeah.
And it
awesome.
is on the forefront of like using
my
technology.
mind is blown right now because I'm literally like, yo, after this, I gotta go set up my Vimeo Netflix.
Speaking of new companies that are disrupting, we have recently partnered with Ryder McNeil over at Prevo Streaming.
Yeah.
Incredible startup company. I'm all about it. Also, it's purple. Purple's my favorite color. But Ryder's great. He has a newsletter as a part of Prevo Streaming, but their whole thing is basically like there are a bunch of incredible filmmakers who have short films that you labor over, and then it just lives on a hard drive, never to be seen for again. And he was like, no, I want to do something about that. And he created a streaming service for indie filmmakers, specifically for short films. And if you're listening, you get a special code. Type in PSS at prevostreaming.com and you'll get 33% off a 3-month membership, which basically shakes out to about $2 off. Is usually $5.99, so it comes out to $3.99, and that's cheaper than a tall Americano
to
at
support
Starbucks,
a bunch of
other
indie
filmmakers.
artists and filmmakers and young guys like Ryder trying to break the game. You know, to break into the game and really open up the door, which is huge. So
I think that's our golden nugget. That we kind of like melded a couple of segments together. My biggest golden nugget takeaway is support your fellow filmmakers. Read the fine print, advocate for yourself. And tell the stories that you want to tell, because there's someone out there that wants to hear them.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
We should shoot something with a oner. What do you think?
Oh, hell yeah. Nice and easy.
Because why do anything easy?
Yeah.
I think that's it for this one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Perfect.
Take us out with some music.
Oh, yeah.
Are they going to crush us for dancing like this? We are on Amazon and Spotify.
YouTube. We're really... Instagram.
TikTok.
And it's all Picture Story Studios. If you type that into any social media service,
you'll find us.
That's where you'll find us. That's how you find us. And we appreciate
Story
it.
Studios, and then our website, picturestorystudios.com. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty.